My girlfriend faked cancer to stop me from breaking up with her. The lengths she went to maintain the lie were disturbing. I, 28 still can't believe I'm writing this. 6 months ago, I thought I was supporting my girlfriend through the fight of her life. Now I know it was all an elaborate lie designed to keep me from leaving a relationship that had run its course. We'd been together for 3 years. The first 2 were good. We traveled, shared friends, and had what I thought was an honest relationship. But during that 3rd year, things changed. She became increasingly possessive, checking my phone when I wasn't looking and picking fights whenever I spent time with friends. I started feeling suffocated. After months of trying to work through our issues with little progress, I finally decided it was time to end things. I planned everything carefully. I'd have the conversation at her place so I could leave afterward. I'd be compassionate but firm, and I'd offer to help with the transition since we had some shared bills. The night before I planned to do it, she called me sobbing. Could I come over right away? It was an emergency. When I arrived, she was sitting on her couch, eyes red and swollen. I went to the doctor last week, she said. They found something during my annual exam. I got the results today. She took a deep breath. It's cancer. Ovarian cancer. My blood ran cold. All thoughts of breaking up vanished instantly. How could I leave her now? What kind of monster would abandon someone at the start of a cancer battle? The doctor says it's stage 2, she continued. I'm going to need surgery, and then probably chemo. She broke down crying, and I held her, promising I'd be there every step of the way. The next few weeks were a blur. She had doctor appointments I couldn't attend because of COVID restrictions. She showed me paperwork, medical forms with official-looking letterheads that I now know were templates downloaded from the internet. She even created a fake email account for her oncologist and sent herself updates that she'd show me. I took on more household responsibilities. I cooked healthier meals based on nutrition guidelines she claimed came from her doctor. I researched cancer support groups and alternative therapies. I even started a private fundraiser among our closest friends to help with what she said would be substantial out-of-pocket costs. Looking back, I should have seen the red flags, but I was so focused on being supportive that I missed them all. About a month in, she shaved her head. I want to do it on my terms, she said, before the chemo takes it from me. I helped her, fighting back tears as clumps of hair fell to the bathroom floor. I told her she was beautiful and brave. She posted about it on social media, receiving an outpouring of support from friends and family. She claimed to start chemotherapy, and I'd drop her off at the hospital entrance. Again, COVID restrictions meant I couldn't go in. She'd emerge hours later, looking tired and sometimes with a bandage in the crook of her arm. She'd describe the 4 drips, the other patients, the kind nurses. She'd vomit dramatically after these sessions, and I'd hold her hair, well, what was now a wig, and bring her ginger ale and crackers. The first crack in her story appeared 3 months in. We ran into her coworker at the grocery store, who expressed surprise when my girlfriend mentioned having been off work for treatment the previous week. But you were at the office Thursday and Friday, the coworker said, looking confused. My girlfriend laughed it off, saying her colleague must be mixing up weeks, but I saw panic flash across her face. That night, I couldn't sleep. Something felt off. I started paying more attention, noticing inconsistencies in her stories. The hospital she claimed to visit was 40 minutes away, but her car's mileage didn't match up. She never seemed to lose weight despite claiming severe nausea and reduced appetite. The medications in our bathroom cabinet had labels from different pharmacies, sometimes with slightly different name spellings. I'm not proud of what I did next, but I needed to know the truth. While she was in the shower, I checked her phone. There were searches for how to fake cancer symptoms, what happens in chemotherapy, and how to make yourself throw up silently. There were screenshots of medical documents that had been edited in Photoshop. There was even a reminder in her calendar. Hospital. Remember to say Dr. Weiss was on vacation. I felt like I'd been punched in the stomach. I waited until she got out of the shower, then confronted her with what I'd found. At first, she denied everything, accusing me of invading her privacy and not trusting her. But as I outlined the inconsistencies I'd noticed, her story began to crumble. Finally, she broke down. Yes, she'd made it all up. She'd suspected I was planning to break up with her and couldn't bear the thought of losing me. In her mind, a fake cancer diagnosis was the only sure way to make me stay. I was going to recover in a few months, she said through tears. Everything would go back to normal, and you'd realize how much you loved me. I was speechless. The elaborate deception, the manipulation, the way she'd accepted support and sympathy from so many people, it was beyond anything I could comprehend. I thought about the friends who had contributed to that fundraiser. Thankfully, I hadn't actually distributed any money yet. I thought about her family members who had called me, voices breaking, to thank me for taking such good care of their daughter/sister/niece. I left that night and haven't spoken to her directly since. Through mutual friends, I learned she told everyone we broke up because the strain of her illness was too much for me to handle, painting me as the villain who abandoned her in her time of need. Only after I shared the truth with a few close friends did she finally admit to the deception, claiming it was a mental health crisis and that she needed support, not judgment. It's been 6 months, and I'm still processing what happened. I've been to therapy, trying to understand how I missed the signs and why I was so quick to believe such an elaborate lie. The therapist says it's because most people don't assume someone would lie about something so serious, especially someone you've trusted for years. I still have nightmares about it sometimes, standing in that bathroom, shaving her head, believing I was helping her prepare for chemo that was never going to happen. I think about the actual cancer patients and their families, dealing with real trauma, while she appropriated their experience for manipulation. If there's any lesson here, it's to trust your instincts when things don't add up. And to remember that someone who truly loves you would never use a serious illness, fake or real, as emotional leverage to keep you in a relationship. And for anyone thinking this story is too bizarre to be true, I would have thought the same thing a year ago. But some people will go to disturbing lengths to maintain control over someone they're afraid of losing, even if it means living in a web of lies so complex that they eventually trap themselves.